in August '85, you were just on the eve of doing the Castle Donington Festival here in England. Now, an awful lot has happened for the band since then. You've had your first #1 album in America, your first #1 single, I hear, in America. You've had 2 huge worldwide hit singles and a massive album. I actually said it all for you now, haven't I?
No, it sounds like
what did you do? Start taking extra vitamins?
I didn't even realize that, for God's sakes.
I don't know. I thought you were talking about somebody else for a minute. Yeah, it was a lot of vitamins, pizza, you know, the usual. The antidotes, remedies of what a rock star is, you know? I don't know. We just were fortunate enough that we toured and toured and toured and toured. Went home after the 7800 tour, which ended last New Year's Eve, and sat down to write a new album, just the way we'd done it a year prior. And here we are. You know, I mean, it just seems slippery when wet. It's just done real well.
So you don't, I mean, you wouldn't say that there were any major differences in the new album that made it a success that the first 2 albums didn't have going for them?
No, basically, you know, it was nice because I read in the press a lot that, you know, they say that we haven't really changed and that we just did it. We made our own mark, you know, we did it our way, and the kids accepted it. The kids really put us where we were, you know, and we just wrote, you know, the best songs we could, basically. That's basically what we wanted to do, and the basic difference is they played us on radio this time.
Right.
You know, and I think that made a big difference as far as getting it out there, you know what I mean? But we're the same band, you know, we haven't changed either personally or anything.
Of course, you spent the first 2 years of your career with those first 2 albums, it seemed, being almost every major rock critic's tip for the top. Was it a surprise when it actually finally started happening for you this year in a really big way?
It hasn't sunken in with me yet, you know? I mean, I still want to run out to the front and take a picture of the marquee outside, you know? But I don't have a camera, you know? So, I mean, everything still makes us real happy that, you know, we're able to do these shows here and get back to the States and do the same thing over there again. But yet it hasn't quite sunk in. Nobody pays much attention to it.
All right, let's take a look at a bit of vintage Bon Jovi now, and we'll play In and Out of Love.
All right.
When you were told you actually had a #1 album in America, I mean, that must be quite a thrill. What was your first reaction? I mean, what was the first thing?
We had $3 bottles of champagne, which is about 1.5 pounds over here, right? So we immediately drank and continued to drink. It was pretty nice because the way I heard it was over a phone booth, and it was at a sound check, and the other band was on sound checking, and all I heard was #1, and I went ah! And just hung up the phone, and we just began to really enjoy it.
What about, did you start ringing your folks or friends?
Oh, we called everyone.
Immediately, we called everybody we knew. I said, wow, man, it's #1. Yeah,
It was great.
It doesn't, you know, I mean, we live the same life. Basically, because we're just on the road all the time, and we really haven't changed, you know. I mean, we may have a different life somewhere in the waiting kind of thing, but rock and roll is a lifestyle that basically doesn't change too much.
But also, I mean, rock and roll as a lifestyle is always, of course, quite an unpredictable way of life. Did you feel as if it was a great relief, in a way, to actually have got that notch up there, you know?
I don't think it makes a difference, mind you. Okay, it does. But on the other hand, it doesn't make a difference because you still have to go out and prove it live, and then you go out and prove it live, and the kids are really happy, and the people are real happy, and then you get that reviewer who decides that you're not happy. So you go, what the hell did I do wrong now, you know? And you read the review, and it says, well, they were boring, and they look in the cliche, and they looked at it, and I went, yeah, you know? Every show's sold out, the kids are real happy, but yet I have to satisfy this, you know, and it gets... No one's ever satisfied, you know what I mean? So we're never satisfied, so we go out every night like it's the last show of our lives.
I think that people that read reviews have to take the opinion of just that one reviewer intact. Like he may be reviewing a Bon Jovi show, but the music he likes may be The Alarm or Frank Sinatra. So automatically, if he comes to a Bon Jovi show, he's going to pan us.
Well, I don't know about that, because I mean, I'm a bit of a Frank Sinatra fan and a Bon Jovi.
So am I. But see, that's us. These reviewers may not share the same opinion we do. So to read a critic's review sometimes can be almost defeating. to yourself as a...
I know.
You know?
Terrible writing them as well, I can tell. Listen, let me now show the video which of course busted open all the vault doors for you all over the world. Let's see who you'd love about it. See surrounds. I mean, we better explain this isn't actually your dressing room, is it?
It's definitely not our dressing room. I thought it was
Prince is staying here.
Yeah.
Prince is coming to the show tonight. He's going to come. This is his room. He demanded it this way.
Yeah, I don't know what this is. This is somebody's idea
Of fun. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
But as I say, you're here at the Hammersmith Odeon tonight. You're actually your second night here in London, and I believe then you're off all over Europe, Paris, goodness knows where else. How's the tour actually going for you as compared to the previous times you visited Britain and Europe?
Very well. I think we did 15 shows here in England, 4 nights here in Hammersmith, you know, and everything was sold out clean. And now we get into Europe where I imagine things are going in the same way there,
Sure.
you know, that we've been fortunate enough to sell a lot of tickets.
Has it felt different, though, coming back now, obviously being twice as famous as you were before you came here?
We do twice as many interviews and do half as much the time sleeping, you know, so otherwise, though, I don't really feel that it's different because when we came here last year, for example, and we did, like, the Dominion, which is a smaller theater, and we only did 1 night as opposed to now the 4. It was a real big deal to us because it was our first time headlining London. Well, the year before we opened for Kiss, but it was our first time in London, you see. So now as this year, it's the first time doing multiple dates in this bigger hall in London. You know, next year it'll be the first time we headlined on a Tuesday in Wembley, and it'll be like, so it's always a thrill, but it's a different thrill.
Okay, now, of course, you've got Living on a Prayer busting open the top 10 here in the UK. I'm sure it's doing likewise in Europe. How important, though, are hit singles going to be in the future to the continuing success of Bon Jovi? They've obviously had a lot of influence on this album. Are they now very, very important for you?
Good question. Probably, but because we've hit a broader market here.
People expect that of us now, I think.
Sure.
You know, they're going to expect us to write that caliber material. So I guess that would be a pretty important thing that we'll have to produce.
Does it freak you out at all, that pressure to actually come up with another hit single?
You think about it, but on the other hand, it's not in the forefront because all we're concerned with is touring right now, you know, and will be for the next probably 7 or 8 more months, you know. So it's going to be a long tour, and let's think about that first, you know.
Okay. All right, listen, it's been great to have you back on the show again, guys. Whenever you're in town, come and knock on my door. John Bon Jovi, Richie Sambora, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mick.